All right, what's up, everybody? So I am back from work today. I wanted to get this Star Wars: The Last Jedi review out because I just got to see Star Wars: The Last Jedi last night at 7 o'clock. I was so beat from watching that movie that I did not have the energy in me to do a review. So The Last Jedi kind of picks off where The Force Awakens left off, where you see kind of Rey and Finn being jettisoned out to space. There's an epic conflict going on, similar to that of The New Hope, in which Kylo Ren is kind of being torn between the light and the dark side. And you see a little bit more of that within The Last Jedi, which is pretty cool to see because I really do think that Kylo Ren's character can still be redeemed, even though what he's done in the previous movies is kind of horrible. He killed his own father. By now, everybody pretty much should probably have seen that movie. And he pretty much has gone down the full path to being kind of like Darth Vader. He was kind of being trained by Snoke to be the next Darth Vader, and you kind of get a glimpse of that within this movie as well. I'm going to try and keep this as spoiler free as I possibly can, even though a lot of people are uploading their spoiler reviews, which is fine. I mean, by now people probably should have seen the movies, but after that, you see kind of like this war going on between Princess Leia and Snoke, where he's trying to destroy her ship. They're pretty much stranded, and they're trying to get off world so that they can mount up a resistance against the invading Empire in the First Order. So I didn't really have any problems with this movie. I think the directing by Rian Johnson was pretty darn good. I think how they took it in a more darker tone than the previous movie, The Force Awakens, was. In The Force Awakens, it was just trying to recapture that old kind of Star Wars feel. And I'm kind of glad, which was something I wanted to see, was them go in a different direction, something that wasn't kind of like Empire Strikes Back, even though there's a lot of moments that kind of harken back to it a little bit. I was really hoping that they would kind of go into their own kind of direction, and that's where you kind of go with this one. You see kind of Luke Skywalker being kind of the Obi-Wan Kenobi version of what the character was in A New Hope, and that Obi-Wan was kind of training Luke Skywalker, whereas Luke Skywalker now is training Rey. He's pretty much haunted by the fact that Kylo Ren burned down his Jedi Academy, which he was trying to train the next group of Jedis, and he pretty much becomes a hermit. He's like the guy that doesn't really want to help out the Resistance members anymore. He's pretty much had enough of that because of the events of what happened with Kylo Ren, and he's pretty much become that old Obi-Wan type of character, which honestly I think fits his character. I think that's something that he would pretty much do. And then it kind of goes on from there, where you eventually see that Luke does train Rey, even though he was kind of hesitant in the beginning of the film. I really do like the direction that they went with this movie. I think that for the next couple of films, this is definitely going to help them because it sets up the next trilogy, where they don't have to rely on characters from the past movie. There's a lot of characters that do come back that I'm not going to spoil, that are kind of from the original trilogy of films. And I really do enjoy that part about that. When I see those characters that are so iconic back up on the screen, it kind of brings me back to my childhood, where I was watching these movies constantly on VHS. I was a huge Star Wars fan. I was a huge George Lucas and Spielberg fan. I saw the prequels in theaters, every single one of them, although they're not as good. I still enjoy them for what they are, trying to explain sort of the backstory between the Jedi Order. And I think that this movie definitely deserves people's money to go see it in theaters. You're going to have a lot of enjoyment out of it. If you're not, the thing about it is that I really enjoyed was that I wasn't expecting some things that happened within this movie. I definitely did want them to explain what happened between Rey and her parents, like why they left her on Jakku, and they don't really explain that. They kind of hint at it a little bit, like there's multiple different stories that they tell within this movie, but they don't really say for certain who Rey's parents are. So I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't really go like in depth with the whole Rey parent story thing, because I wanted a clear cut, whether or not Rey was related to like Luke Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi. They didn't really kind of explain that in a way that I would have liked to have explained in the film. Kylo Ren just says basically that she was kind of left, spoiler alert, on Jakku, that her parents are nobodies. But I mean, being the fact that Rey was a Force wielder in The Force Awakens, and that the lightsaber was basically calling to her, and that it was Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, you can't really make that argument, because the thing about it is this laser sword is basically like that or the Japanese samurai swords. Where basically the soul of the person is kind of imprinted on the samurai sword. And I think that my opinion is that either Rey is related to Obi-Wan or she's related to Luke. And that's one of the things that they didn't really clear answer is whether or not she was related to those two. So I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't go full into what that question is. Maybe they'll answer that in the next movie. But other than that, I didn't really have any problems with the movie. There was one scene that I won't spoil that happens to deal with Princess Leia that I thought was complete bullcrap. And it completely ignores a lot of the physics that go along with being in space. But I'm not going to tell you what that is. I pretty much gave you a little bit of a hint as to what I'm saying. But I'm going to be kind of vague for the sake of not ruining that moment for everybody else that wants to go see this in the theaters. So, would I recommend you go see Star Wars The Last Jedi? Yes. There's a lot of returning characters that come to this movie. It's really long, which is also kind of a good thing because it gives you more time with these characters that you've kind of grown to love over the past couple of years in the Star Wars universe. The directing is really well done. I really do like the way that Rian Johnson kind of handled the directing for this movie. I like the fact that he did a little bit things that were not really expected within this film that pretty much people were assuming was going to happen because J.J. Abrams played it so safe with the last movie. And I like the direction that they're heading for the next couple of films. So I would definitely give this probably an A if I was going to give this a grading scale. It's definitely not an A+ because there's definitely some flaws within the film, but it was definitely a movie that I would suggest going to see in theaters with your family over Christmas. So that is going to be my opinion of Star Wars The Last Jedi. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry I didn't really go full in depth of this movie. Kind of like I wanted to, but I didn't want to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen it yet. And if you really do want to go see this movie with spoilers in it, there's definitely some movie reviewers out there already who have kind of made a spoiler review for you guys. So hope you guys enjoy this. I'm trying to get back in the whole swing of things with these movie reviews, and I'm doing a little bit different than what I've done before in the past, where I've kind of been in front of like movie posters and stuff. I'm trying to use the green screen a little bit more, just because that's kind of what I'm using now. It's a lot of fun to be able to edit with this and to be able to put some stuff behind me as opposed to just me talking in front of posters. I might do that in the future just to kind of mix up the videos and stuff. But for now, this is what I'm doing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll probably have another trailer reaction for you guys soon because I haven't fully watched the trailer for Alita Battle Angel, which I kind of want to do like a full review on that. So that might be coming up soon. But as always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.